Hi there, I'm Brett,
Hi, I'm Tim.
and this is our Franchise Spotlight interview.
I'm Dr. Timothy Hembry. I'm the administrator here at Nurse Next Door Pinellas.
My name is Brett Freeman. I have been with Nurse Next Door. We launched in May of 2024.
And I'm one of the co-founders with Brett, so I started from the beginning.
So I'm really excited to be chatting with you guys today. So let's just get into it. We all have those "what have I gotten myself into" moments, and especially, I hear that a lot. Yeah, when starting, a franchise or really taking on any new endeavor, whether it's business or personal. And so I'd love to just dive in and hear a little bit more about your early challenges and if you've had any of those "what have I gotten myself into" moments.
It was really when we got our first client. It was hard to figure out, how do you get the caregivers if you don't have the client? But then we got the client, and the client wanted services that were, we didn't know anything about shift and how to do that. So basically we tried to get the caregiver to take the shift. It wasn't something that she wanted to do, and she was the only caregiver that we had. What did I get myself into? The client still needed the service. So I myself put on, what we need to put on, got branded, and I went up and did all of the services myself. I quickly realized why we don't do 12 midnight to 3 a.m. shifts. I did that, and we realized that we will not be doing that again. It will be an overnight shift.
I've been in healthcare for some time, as a physician. But, when I was named the director of nursing for Nurse Next Door, having little to zero experience as a nurse, actually no experience as a nurse, I said, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? So as we grow, it's just been a huge learning experience. And, we're new entrepreneurs. It's not like we've started multiple businesses. So, recognizing that when you start, things start slowly and they go at their own pace. And sometimes you want things to go faster than they do. So that was kind of, especially in the beginning. So we're kind of cooking now, which is really nice.
Is there anything specifically that sort of helped you get through those challenges other than, just time and learning, whether it be a resource from the system at Nurse Next Door or, reaching out for support or sort of, what has helped you guys navigate those challenges?
Well, so I think it's all of the above. The one thing that it's really, many things that are great about Nurse Next Door, but the fact that you do have resources to reach out to and to ask for some support and some guidance. There's a lot of those. You can have a "what have I got myself into" moment on a daily basis with a new business, especially in home care. So it happens a lot. And I think it's grit. It's making sure that you understand that and just ultimately continue to come in every single day and continuing to do what you need to do. You can build a business that we're proud of, and a business that actually serves the public and serves the community in the way that we promised. So I think that's the thing that really kind of gets you through, is understanding what we're doing and why we're doing it.
In a very similar way, it's persistence, it's consistency, it's pushing that rock up the hill, right? Even when you don't want to, from another perspective, like prayer and meditation, get centered, realize that there's going to be things that come up that scare you, and that's okay, and just trying to stay in that space where we understand that we're learning and we're growing and all those sort of things.
For sure. I feel like I'm absorbing good advice from both of you right now. I start my career too, definitely. Well, I see this nice mural wall behind you guys and, the great job that you have done diving into the brand. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about how have you and your team sort of amplified Nurse Next Door in your community, and sort of were there any specific initiatives or strategies that have been, the most effective in building that awareness and connection in your community?
Well, there's a number of things that we do. First of all, the brand is so catchy. It's really easy to work with. All you have to have is a little bit of creativity. And it's a really easy brand to work with. We hired a muralist, and we showed her what we had to work with and kind of let her go crazy in our office. And we have a beautiful office. As we are a premium brand, we really do try to play off the fact that we are premium. We do things that other home care companies don't do. We have starting relationships with concierge medical practices. that their clients are used to a much higher level of service. And so we're being marketed and positioned to them. And having a brand like Nurse Next Door that is premium is a really, really good fit. Sponsored a Thanksgiving Day dinner, actually. It was beautiful. We had about 40 to 60 people.
Wow.
We sponsored all the food and the decorations and everything. And it was really, really nice. We have a booth at Pride every year. Eventually we'll probably walk into Parade. We hold ourselves out as an organization that's willing to and able to meet the needs of anybody in the community.
I think it's just community involvement. Like we've showed up for our community, and we've showed up for other people's events, and we co-sponsored an ALS event here in town, and just really showing up. And even though you may not think that it's going to drive your business, ultimately people remember. They remember how you showed up and for them, and I think that's really important. The other thing I would say is when we first had our Mini Cooper wrapped in Nurse Next Door, it's an eye catcher, right? Like people notice when you're driving around in that, and it was just fun to drive the car and watch people look at it and smile, And I think, we show up like this, we show up in
a lot.
Pink suit. We have full pink suits, and people are like, wow, So I think that's a big part of it.
And our staff also. I mean, we're buying a machine called a Cricut, but basically we can reproduce kind of the logo of the brand like on a t-shirt, so that we can really expand the brand and really make it personal, not just to the two of us, but to all of our employees, our office employees that are out representing the brand as well. So yeah, we really are taking the brand and running with it. We're doing a senior expo on February 13th. And it's in conjunction with a magazine that we advertise in. So one of the things you do at the expos is you get their information because you do a raffle prize. So we always do like a basket. And because we're Nurse Next Door, we're pink, we're hearts everywhere. It's something unique and special. And so everybody that comes to a future event will be like, I want that Nurse Next Door prize. I want that Nurse Next Door.
If Nurse Next Door gave you a magic wand to erase one challenge overnight, what would it be?
Hands down, it would be the difficulty that is associated with hiring and retaining good quality caregivers. We have some really good ones, but you really work really, really hard to find good ones that have good availability and willing to take on clients.
How are you working on the challenge? Is there anything that sort of helps you in your hiring or retention journey, or things that have been working for you in that area?
Yeah, I think, when we interview candidates, we bring them into our big, beautiful office, and we really stress that we're different than a lot of home care companies, and we really care about them, and we try to help them through their difficulties. And we're a very open and inclusive environment, and we make sure that our caregivers feel the same way, and that they know that they can bring their whole self to work as well. So I think, we had a Christmas party for our caregivers this year, and everybody had a great time, but really showing that we're a family business and they're all part of the family.
Do you have a happier aging story that comes to mind? Favorite one? I know there's probably lots, but a favorite one.
I would say it's a happier aging story. We actually supported one of our clients that was on hospice, and older gentleman that actually lived in his home, the home that he wanted to stay in, and his family ultimately wanted him to die in. So we were able to be there for him. And when we first took on the client, we thought he was imminent, that he wouldn't be with us. But he actually lived another 6 months and actually started to get better, as we started to spend time with him and those sort of things. But he was a big basketball fan. And so our caregiver bought a Nerf basketball and brought a closed basket, and would play basketball with him and that sort of stuff. And that was enough. Like he was at the end of his life, but we made sure he was clean. We made sure he died with dignity. And I think that is a happier aging, Jim, if you ask me.
A client that came to us, the children live out of state. She had been hospitalized 3 times in 1 week. largely for confusion. The neighbors would find her and then they would just basically call an ambulance and send her to the hospital. But she's physically healthy. She just has a little cognitive decline and gets a little confused. And so they want her to remain independent as long as possible. And so when we got involved in the case, she was less than receptive, we'll say. And it was a little bit of a difficult client. But remember, I said that we do the things that a lot of other home care companies don't do. And so we started doing our visits. We got her to accept us. At one point, we went to go visit her and she wasn't there. But remember, we have visited her a number of times. So we've taken her out to a variety of different, so we know her haunts.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went looking for her and we found her. And she was having a moment where she was at the car dealership trying to plan to go on a trip. So we were able to get her back home, get her safe, and that hasn't happened again since. We see her every single day. She is very, very happy about going out for her visits around town with her caregiver, her friends, she calls it. So her friends come and pick her up every day and they take her everywhere that she needs to go. And here's the thing, the siblings that both live out of state, they get regular reports. They have peace of mind. They can rest easily. She's no longer in and out of the hospital 3 times in 1 week. She's happy, safe, staying at home, where we absolutely are making not just her life better, but the lives of her extended family as well. Every day she has one of her friends that comes by.
That's awesome. I love that. And I think, yeah, for sure, you touched on a huge point of, it's not just about the client, it's the peace of mind that the family gets from that. That makes such a huge impact. What is your biggest, boldest goal for your franchise this year?
Big, bold goals. Love it. Like Brett said, we launched in May. We wanted to get out of the red. That was a big goal, right? And we've done that. So we're really happy that, we've been working hard and growing and those sort of things. So a big thing this year is we're working to get Medicare certified. We'll be focusing also on home health.
And I think, really just to continue growing organically, to continue creating a workplace where our caregivers feel appreciated, valued, respected, and where our clients feel like they're getting good value for the money that they're paying. That's the goal, is to create something and to continue to sustain something that we're proud of. I don't know. Corner the home care market in the Bay Area. Nothing more to be said on that one.
Nothing more to be said. That was
just drop the mic and walk away.